Hello and welcome to Africa News. I'm Dilek Tuna. Here are the stories making headlines today. Ghana is bringing artificial intelligence and coding into its national basic school curriculum, preparing a new generation for the digital future. A new farming model in Nigeria aims to change how agriculture is done by integrating multiple processes into one system. And Côte d'Ivoire is rethinking healthcare with a new approach that combines remote consultations with home visits, bringing care closer to patients. We begin in Ghana, where artificial intelligence is moving from workplaces into classrooms as the country prepares a major change to the way children learn.
Ghana is preparing to introduce artificial intelligence and coding into its national basic school curriculum as the country looks to equip students with skills needed for a technology-driven future. The new program, set to begin in September, will cover students from kindergarten to junior high school. Schools have been using the summer break to prepare classrooms, upgrade facilities, and get teachers ready for the changes. At Prime School in Accra, laboratories are being equipped with modern technology. For many students, the changes create new opportunities to explore technology from an early age.
By learning coding and also AI, I can be able to use, apps like Scratch in order to make games or, other apps.
Some worry that students could become overly dependent on artificial intelligence tools when completing assignments, affecting their ability to think critically and solve problems independently. Education specialists say technology alone will not be enough to make the reform successful.
Sometimes when you give them work to do, instead of thinking critically on what you have given them to come up for the answer, they rely solely on the AI. And I think with this, the critical thinking aspects, we are going to lose it.
We need to do certain fundamentals, that is, having a national campaign to train the teachers, train even parents, for them to become aware. And so therefore, they also know their role to play. There are other stakeholders, like the tech guys. We just have to also bring them on board.
Ghana's government hopes the new curriculum will prepare young people for a rapidly changing digital economy and help develop the skills needed for future careers.
Across Africa, farmers are facing growing pressure to produce more food while adapting to climate challenges and limited resources. In Nigeria, a new farming model is bringing technology, machinery and processing together in one system with the aim of changing how agriculture is done.
For decades, farming in Africa has largely been fragmented, with farmers often producing on small plots with limited access to machinery, finance, irrigation and markets. At the Nigerian Farmers Group and Cooperative Society (NFGCS) estate, the approach is different. Managing partner Retsin Tedeke says crop production is being combined with all aspects of agro-processing and farmer support, bringing several parts of the agricultural value chain into one system.
When you cluster agriculture, you identify challenges in a particular region, you provide the mechanization they need, you provide the funding they need, you provide the solutions they need.
The idea is simple. Instead of farmers trying to solve these problems individually, they operate within a cluster where infrastructure, equipment, financing and other services can be shared. The estate is now proving that this approach can improve productivity and create a more sustainable agricultural business model. For smallholder farmers like Adamu Adogaat, the difference is already showing in the fields.
Before, on 1 acre, I would get maybe 8 bags. Now with the new methods, I'm getting about 18 bags. Also, they taught us how to use greenhouse to get more yield. Most of us have never seen this before or thought of farming in this method, but we are happy now. Because of that, my income has more than doubled. Farming is now feeding my family and building something for my future.
Adamu's experience points to what this model can offer beyond a single farm. By linking farmers to training, technology, processing and markets, the aim is to improve productivity while creating more opportunities for people entering agriculture. Experts say the benefits could extend across the wider value chain.
So basically it will enhance agricultural productivity at scale, right? And it will also improve the opportunity for young people to learn various methods, improved methods of farming and value chain engagement, how it connects to each other. We have the issue of post-harvest losses in Nigeria. It's only through such integrated ecosystems that you will be able to start to see to the rapid reduction of our post-harvest losses.
While the potential is significant, it comes at a huge cost. For Africa, the biggest test is whether successful integrated farms can become more than isolated projects and develop into a model that can be adopted across the continent.
For many people across Africa, reaching a doctor can mean long journeys, traffic delays and crowded hospitals. But in Côte d'Ivoire, technology is offering a different approach, combining remote consultations with home visits to bring healthcare directly to patients.
In Côte d'Ivoire, seeing a doctor no longer means spending hours in a waiting room. Since 2019, the UMED eHealth Center has been using telemedicine to connect doctors with patients across the capital, Abidjan. Dr. Esther Kassi Aleba begins her consultation from behind a computer. Her patient is several kilometers away, unable to make the journey because of the city's notorious traffic. Through a video consultation, the doctor listens to the patient, asks questions, and assesses her symptoms remotely. There are no crowded waiting rooms or long journeys, just an internet connection connecting the patient to medical care.
We realized that for simple tests, such as a malaria test or minor symptoms, patients can face very long waiting times in hospitals. We decided to take some of the pressure off hospitals by managing these minor conditions while using technology to improve access to healthcare.
But the consultation does not necessarily end online. When a physical examination or treatment is needed, the center can send a medical team directly to the patient's home.
We recover more quickly at home, with our family and with a little family love. This enables us to recover better, or let's say, to recover more quickly.
Nurse Micheline Apete is preparing to make one of those visits.
We are going to Autobahn to see a patient suffering from abdominal pain. She has a fever, headaches and vomiting. Following the doctor's instructions, we are going to treat her.
The team sets off for Autobahn. Minutes later, they arrive at the patient's home and begin treatment, following the doctor's instructions.
We gave her intravenous paracetamol to bring down her fever. The doctor prescribed a treatment plan, including a vitamin complex, to give her a boost. She'll feel better in about 10 minutes.
For Seynabou Messo, telemedicine has been part of her healthcare routine for 7 years. After years of dealing with traffic and hospital queues, she says receiving care at home has made a significant difference.
I am not too keen on hospital's bed, so I prefer to be hospitalized at home, in my bedroom or living room. What's changed for me is that there is always a team on hand, whatever the time, and I do not need to travel to access care. Even for blood tests and test results, I have access to medical services provided in clinics, but at home without having to travel.
The UMED eHealth Center says it receives around 5 requests for remote consultations each day. Consultations and home visits are included in its treatment packages, making the service an alternative for patients seeking convenient access to care. But telemedicine has its limits. The center mainly handles minor conditions remotely. When patients require surgery, resuscitation, or other specialized treatment, they are referred to specialist facilities. For now, the combination of technology and home-based care is offering some Abidjan residents a simpler way to reach a doctor without having to leave home.
For the first time in years, Zimbabwe has made it through winter without widespread power cuts. Improved generation is keeping factories running, cutting reliance on expensive backup generators and boosting hopes for an industrial recovery.
For nearly 2 decades, winter in Zimbabwe has been synonymous with power cuts. This year, that pattern has been broken. Zimbabwe's electricity transmission and distribution company says improved performance at Hwange and Kariba power stations has helped maintain stable supplies through the peak demand period. At this snack manufacturer, the difference has been felt on the shop floor.
The only thing one can talk of is a real breakdown or a fault of some nature. But even looking at the faults, they are swiftly moving on them.
Few interruptions have meant production lines running continuously, allowing the company to operate at its full 4 tons per hour capacity and protecting profits.
Winter normally is associated with very high cost of power. And as a result, it eats into your margins as a business. And also, at the same time, you go for quite a number of hours without power. And as a result, again, you still have the overheads, which you have to pay for, whether you've got power or you don't have power. So because of that now, the cost of production per unit goes up because of such overheads, which you have to pay. But looking at others who had resources to run generators and so forth, still, again, the cost of running a generator is also very high.
The stability has reduced the need to budget for generators and provide for lost production. Zimbabwe's industries are operating at about 61.2% of capacity. Manufacturing currently accounts for about 17% of GDP, with the government targeting 25% by 2030. For now, the power system has kept pace through the winter, and the utility is planning upgrades to thermal generation and increased purchases from independent power producers to maintain the new record.
That's all we have today on Africa News. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to A News for more stories shaping Africa and the world.